Hello everyone, this is Cancer from VampireRave.com. I wanted to make a short video about some of the upcoming changes, give you all a chance to see what's being worked on and in development here. So I've got the site loaded up here. As you can see, the entire design has changed of the site. It's a responsive layout. It's a layout that looks good whether you're looking at it on a tiny mobile screen, an intermediate screen like a tablet, or a large desktop screen. Throughout this test, right here, this is something that's not normally on the site. It's just showing the screen resolution. So throughout this test, you can look here and see what the width and height of the screen is that we're looking at. So as you can see, it says 1920. That's a standard HD display, 1080p. This is a big desktop display. This is what the site is going to look like when you're working on a large desktop. It's got on the sides here, which are called the gutters. These are 240 pixels wide. That's an industry standard. I'll talk more about that later. The top, you've got advertising. You've got the header navigation bar here. This is Vampire Rave. And right here, this red bar, this is what I call the notification bar. It's very similar to VR Classic, how you can see when you have new messages, like it shows right here. But in the new system, this will be used for a lot of other stuff too. Any important system messages. If I'm working on the site and have to take an area down like the forum for an hour, I can pop a message in there and show everyone on the site instantaneously. So this is going to be used for a lot of different things in the notification bar. Then down the right column here, this is a 320 pixel wide column, and this is still in development. Right here where it says inner test content, there's going to be things down here like your friends, new stuff that's happened on the site, maybe articles. It's all going to be developed. But your main content is here on the left, and this is the main VR page. Then down at the bottom here is the social bar with Google+, Facebook, and StumbleUpon, also Twitter. Clicking any of these will go to those sites, and if you're logged in, you can directly post content from where you were. And then here, this green button is a general catch-all for additional social media services. So we click that, you see it opens up here, share by email, Gmail, etc. These are pretty neat, like for example, like the Yahoo Mail. If you click it and you're logged into your Yahoo Mail account already, it'll open up Yahoo Mail. It'll start composing a message. It'll put in the subject line. It'll put in the body. It'll put in Vampire Rave, the address, etc. So pretty neat. If you use mobile devices, Line and WhatsApp, it's a very similar feature from your phone. You can hit the button and it'll share to your timeline. You can share it to your friends or your contacts. Okay, now I want to show you how the responsive design works. I'm going to resize the window here. So now we're at 1384 width. It's pretty much the same, just the center is more compact. You still got this left column, or excuse me, the right column, and you still got the 240 width gutters. Now if we come in smaller, below 1300, you can see that right column disappears, giving you more screen space here in the center. And the gutters have gotten smaller too. They're now 170 pixels wide. What these gutters are used for, they're basically for site rebranding. Some of you might recall in the past we've done things where movies have come out and things about the movies will be down the side. Or even like when we've had important things happen at Vampire Rave. Like several years ago, one of our members passed away, and I put up a memorial. I can use these gutters for additional content. They're for content that's outside of Vampire Rave, and they're only shown on the edges and the fringes here. So let's keep working with our resolution here. So now we're getting smaller and smaller. When we get to, I believe, yeah, once we get down here, under 1200, the gutters just disappear. And once again, that opens up the center here and you've got more screen real estate. At the top, the main banner, that's always 728 pixels wide. And if you start going smaller yet, below 728, you see that disappears. And at this point, we're in the mobile design space. This is typically tablet resolution area. This is what it would look like on your tablet. And if you go even smaller, down into the 400s and the 300s, that's what it looks like on a phone. 360 is pretty much the standard now. This is what it would look like on an Android phone or an iPhone, with the exception of the height. Let me get the height a little bit more realistic. Yeah, it would look something like this here. As you can see, everything's still on the screen. Nice layout, very readable. And again, you got the social bar at the bottom. It fits in there perfectly. Now I'm going to open this back up here. And I want to talk a little bit about the navigation. So when you're logged in, it's got your user information here at the top right, your username. You click that, it goes to your profile. The same with your avatar, it goes to your profile, you know, your status and your level. Over here is what's called a hamburger menu. That's the design term. All the site navigation happens here at the left. If you use mobile at all, you're very familiar with this. One of the most challenging parts of this new system was developing a navigation system. I spent over a week just on this navigation system every single day. Because as you know, Vampire Rave has just so many pages and so many sections, and getting that all down into a usable small format was an incredible challenge. And I had to respect also that a lot of users are used to VR Classic. A lot of users are used to VR Sumerian. Those two layouts are overwhelmingly 90+% of our users. The older users tend to use VR Classic. The newer users, since VR Sumerian came out around 2000, I think it was 2009, users since 2009 tend to use Sumerian. So I wanted to develop a new navigation system that didn't leave all those users, you know, out in the cold and having to relearn everything. And so this is what I came up with. It's heavily influenced by both of those designs. I'm going to show you right here. So here is VR Sumerian, and then of course VR Classic, purple skin. So the new layout is based primarily on Classic, where it takes these headers, see main menu, members, societies, etc. On the left-hand column of Classic are all like the public pages. And on the right-hand side, including the top here, the premium, the right-hand side, this is all your logged in personal custom pages. You know, my dashboard, my message center, my profile, editing my profile, my journal, writing in my journal, those types of things. Sumerian is kind of similar, but there are some notable differences. It's more laid out. You've got your personal here, but then, you know, profile and journal and portfolio are split up, premiums here and whatnot. So there are some differences between the two. But so the main system, or excuse me, the new system is based primarily on Classic. So like, for example, here, main menu. I'm going to try and set this up. I'm logged in. I want to show you this, how it would look if you're not logged in. If you're not logged in, it's going to look like this when you click here. You're going to see main menu, members, societies, and services, just like on VR Classic. Main menu, members, societies, ignore that, the city. That's something I'm working on and in development, and services. So very small, very simple. Click into them, they open up, open or close. And these windows, or excuse me, these navigation panes, they're exactly the same. Same as like on VR Classic. Request help, the VR manual, etc. See, request help, the VR manual, etc. So if you're used to VR Classic, this will be the same. Very easy for you to use. Now what will change when you're logged in, you of course see more user menu. And when you're logged in, you'll see here at the top your membership status. It'll show whether you're lifetime, whether you're a regular premium member or not a premium member, and your pages viewed and your time spent. And now at the top here, pushed on top of the main menu, members, societies, and services, are what were on the other column of VR Classic over here. So you've got premium, personal, profile, etc. The new system, premium, personal, profile, etc. Now this is where the differences mixed with Sumerian can come in. With, just as an example, the premium menu on Classic has 8 items because there's only room for 8 items. And very early in Vampire Rave's development, I needed more space, so I created this personal settings, which, as you know, if you use Classic, you click personal settings, it opens up even more choices. But on Sumerian, when you hit premium, the premium menu, it's got more items. It's got all the items. And that's the same here for the new system. So you go into premium, it's got all the items, just like Sumerian. Same with personal, you've got a few more items in there than on VR Classic. It's got the Sumerian items. It's kind of the best of both, all the things you can do. Now, what's different, and I haven't completed this yet, I'm working on it still, is one of the great things about VR Classic, if you're used to it, is it shows you, all these numbers in here, like who's online. It gives you a total right away. How many users we have, how many forum threads, how many messages in your message center, how many people are stalking you, etc. Sumerian doesn't do that, but the new system here will. And not only will it do that, it'll do it in more areas. It's not filled in here yet. It's not working yet, but you can see message center. There's a spot here. And a lot of these things, like when friends online, there's going to be a number in there, how many of your friends are online. So you'll be able to just, at a glance here, check some key things. And for you administrators out there, acolytes or higher, you're familiar with these menus here: the acolyte menu, the procreator menu, the dominar menu. And like if you're an acolyte, for example, you use the acolyte queue here. It's got questions you can go in and answer. Also, a notable difference with the new system, when you click into this, if there are acolyte questions, this will already be expanded. So it'll be there showing you, hey, come here, click here, answer this question. I'm very proud of this system, the navigation system. I know it seems pretty simple, but it was quite a development challenge. Everything from making this animate here to the way this menu expands, the way it scrolls on the screen, the way things push out, push back in, while still being very simple and looking good at different resolutions. If we go back down to the mobile phone resolution, you can see it fits perfect. And this is what you'll see on your phone. Very easy to go into a menu, click into something and on your phone. And, it being based on VR Classic and Sumerian, there's going to be a very small learning curve. For example, if you want to go, let's just pick a random page. Let's say you want to go to the top. If you're used to VR Classic, the top is in the members section. So you click into members, and there's the top. Or if you want to go to the VR store, that's under services. So you go down to services, and there's your VR store. Or the Vampire database. Oops. Didn't mean to click that. A lot of the pages aren't working yet. This is just a layout video. So like if you want to go to the Vampire database, that's under main menu. The Vampire database. Same as it was in our VR Classic. So like I said, short learning curve. That covers most of what I wanted to talk about. Let's see. So where am I at now? So I'm finishing up the new layout. I'm still working on this new layout. I've got some more things to do on the menu here. Then I'm going to get into this sidebar. And the layout's pretty much done. It's looking the way I want it to look. I think it looks really good. Very functional. Great across all viewing platforms. After I finish with the design here in the next probably 2 to 3 days, I have to go through and start working on every single Vampire Rave page, every one of these pages, and more than that are displayed here. There's more back pages. Every single one has to be rewritten to work under this new system. After that, I'm hoping that takes no more than 2 weeks. Maybe I can get through it in a week. So somewhere around the 3rd week of August, I'll be able to open up the system for beta testing to you guys. You'll be able to come in here and play with it, change things, mess around with it. After I'm confident that beta testing has caught most of the bugs and things that we're going to face, we'll transition to a new server. That'll be sometime in early to mid-September. And after we transition over, that's really when the real work for me begins, because I have just so many updates planned. I have a telephone book stack of notes of updates planned. Just pretty much every page of the site is getting updated in some way. Every section from societies to journals to articles, everything's getting updated and modernized. And there's a lot of new features coming in too. And that'll be the final stage. And that's going to be ongoing for the next indefinite amount of time. Definitely through the end of the year. It wouldn't surprise me if it took more than the next year. This is a full-time job. It's just massive updates, and I'm going to keep the site current and fresh. So that's where I'm at. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on Vampire Rave.